Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so I am here to tell you about Scarlet and Violet and how the prices are crashing hilariously. And I know we do this every set, right? Where I tell you don't buy cards between pre-release and release, and then a bunch of people go and do anyway, and then I come back a couple weeks later and I go, look, this is why I said don't buy singles. Well, even more than normal, this is a set where I'm going to come back and I'm going to be like, see, this is why you don't buy singles. We always see crashes. It happens every time. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, even more so than normal, the crashes here are kind of going hilariously, absolutely hilariously. And I'm loving it, and I'm here for it, and I'm celebrating it, because look, the deal is really simple. The cheaper Pokemon cards get, the more people can have the Pokemon cards they really want. So you better believe I am celebrating price crashes, because the more prices crash, the easier it is for everybody to get the cards they want and need. And sure, I pulled some good special illustration rares from Scarlet and Violet, as you've seen on this channel. Hopefully, at least, if you haven't, go check them out. They're fun. And yeah, sure, I'm not going to be able to flip them for much money because, you know, the prices are crashing. And I love it. I absolutely love it, because it means everybody is having access to all the cards they want nice and cheaply, and this is a wonderful, 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 wonderful thing. So let's start off with Miriam. Now, I've been telling you all the way along that Miriam is not going to be a $250 card. My prediction for what it's worth has been $50. Because that is what any full art supporter so far has been going for. Supporter cards have not been breaking $50 really ever. Not in English. In Japanese, very different question. They do regularly become ridiculously expensive. $300 supporters in Japan, yeah, that's a thing. Absolutely. But in English, that is not a thing. And my prediction for Miriam has been $50 card. This is a special illustration rare. That has been my prediction from the beginning. And if we go over onto TCG Player right now, we're not quite at $50. But we ain't far off, ladies and gentlemen. We started at $265. We're down to $75. And actually, the last three solds are $74, $72.50, and $70. I still believe, great Frank Turner song, incidentally, that we are going to see a $50 Miriam. I think we're on the way. Bearing in mind, the set only came out at the end of last week. I am doing this very, very soon after the release of the set. Prices will still drop for a couple of weeks yet, so we've already gone down, and I think we're going to keep going. Because I showed you this image the other day. People were paying $250 for Miriam. Free sold $265, best offer accepted on $275 and $255. So when I tell you people were paying $250 for Miriam, that's not some figure I magically plucked out of thin air. That is me going, no. I literally looked on eBay when pre-releases were happening. This is literally what people were paying. This is the amount of money people were paying. We're not quite down to a $50 Miriam yet, but we are getting there, ladies and gentlemen. It is dropping, and that is hilarious. Now, one of the other cards, I've told you, right, over and over again, my personal chase card from the set is the special illustration rare of Penny. I love this card. Now, the good news is a very, 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 very lovely person in the UK community, Bella Webster, has got one of these. They're going to be trading me at the EUIC, which I will obviously be in attendance for, and I am loving that. But if you want to trade these with me, I've got a spare special illustration rare Arven. I want more Penny. If you want to trade, we can work out a trade, don't worry. But the point is, I've been telling you this is going to be a $30 card. I told you I'm going to be picking this up for $30. Which was a bold claim, I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Especially, when I showed you Penny the other day, I showed you it was a $55 card. But if we have a look at what it was initially, as in, what TCG player was initially selling it for. It started off life as a $30 card. It's a $13 card now. So when I told you it was a $30 card, and I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, I had some messages telling me that I was being aspirational when I said that Penny was going to be a $30 card. It's not a $30 card. It's a $13 card. How good is that? And this is one of my favourite art, probably my favourite art we've ever seen on a supporter. Now, it is worth noting that I was a teacher for many, 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 many years. So the whole kind of, classroom, sunlight streaking in through the windows, all of that. Shall we say that, there are some good memories of my teaching. But it's the Okacheke artwork, let's be clear. Penny as a character, fine, she's alright. It's the Okacheke artwork. I have no real interest in getting the full art of Penny, but you better believe I want many of the special illustration rare. Because over in Japan, I'm not getting this Penny. This Penny is completely out of my price range. I would love to get a Japanese version of this special illustration rare of Penny, but the reality is, no, I can't have it. It's too expensive, which is sad. Over on Card Rush right now, this is an 18,000 yen card, and an 18,000 yen card comes in at £110. I would like to be able to pay, oh wait, that's not even that's an A- version. That's not even like a minty version, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies, a minty version is 23,000 yen. Oh, that's even worse. 23,000 yen is even worse. That's £140. And look, I would love to spend £140 on this card. I think it is a card that is absolutely deserving. I also think that I have 3 children and a mortgage. And spending £140 on this card is, let's just say irresponsible and leave it at that. But this is a point I've been making for years on this channel. When it comes down to these supporter cards, unless you really have a crazy strong preference, just buy the English version. And I've been telling you guys this for years. The English version is never going to hold the value of the Japanese version. They just don't. And I've given you example after example, and some people still call me out on it. When I told you Miriam was going to be a $50 card, people called me stupid. When I told you I was going to pick up Penny for $30 or less, people called me stupid. And yet, we're sitting here now, and okay, Miriam has not fallen to a $50 card yet, although I think it's on the way, and I'll show you a video when it does. But Penny has already fallen down to a $13 card. And this is only going to keep going. The other one I showed you the other day, the special illustration rare of Gardevoir, I showed you people were paying somewhere in the region of $100 for it. That's what people were paying the other day. These are solds on eBay. We're not talking rumors or any of this. This is actual solds, what people were actually paying. All right? What are we looking at in terms of value for that Gardevoir right now? Is it a $100 card? Nah, mate. $50 card and dropping. Started as $120 on TCG Player. It has dropped fast to a $49 card, $48 card. And again, I can't stress this enough. I'm sitting here like 4 days after the set came out. Wait, no, 3 days. 3 days after the set came out. These are only going to keep falling. We have got a couple of weeks yet, at least, of these cards just plummeting in value, and that is going to keep happening, and it's going to be hilarious. I showed you the Miraidon the other day. It was a $130 to $150 card. Again, not a figure I pulled out of thin air. That is what people were actually paying on eBay during pre-releases. And let's be clear, I'm recording this on the 3rd of April, although I think it's going to go up tomorrow now. I'm showing you figures from the 21st of March. That is 2 weeks ago, when pre-releases were happening. We're not talking ages ago here. And I showed you that this Miraidon, people were paying $130 to $150. What's the value? $60. Jumped up when pre-releases happened, and then jumped right back down. It's a $60 card, but again, and I'm leaving all the recently sold here when I'm showing you these, because I keep telling you these are going to drop in value, and if you look at the recently solds, that is illustrating my point quite nicely. Sure, it's a quote-unquote $60 card, but actually the last 3 solds were 57.54 and 56.50. So it's already falling down in value here, and that is amazing. All of these cards are absolutely crashing in value, and this is wonderful. And I could pick out any card from the set and show you a similar kind of thing. Our special illustration rare of Koraidon that I pulled has crashed from a $100 card to a $37 card, which is kind of amazing, honestly. I mean, not for me who pulled the card. I'd love to sell it for more than that. But, yeah, that's happened. The full art of Miriam, yeah, that's gone from a $70 card to a $28 card. And again, all of these have still got further room to fall. Gold Miraidon, surely Gold Miraidon is going to be holding a little bit of value. Nah, that one has crashed quite nicely as well. I mean, there was one of those sold for $15, all right? $15. And this is wonderful, and I love this. The price of singles for Scarlet and Violet, and it's partly because they have increased the pull rates, which is lovely. In fact, it's probably a lot to do with that, to be honest. But it's also inevitable, right? When I come out here and I tell you that these cards are going to be crashing in value, I mean it. Because they always do. Buying cards after pre-releases is never a good idea. And sometimes people have specific reasons, and that's absolutely fine. Sometimes people know they're paying above the odds, and if you're happy paying above the odds for whatever reason, that's absolutely fine. As I make a point of telling you all the time, I am not telling you what to do. I can't do that. I'm your friendly Wazzy giving a piece of friendly advice. That's it. Nothing more than that, ladies and gentlemen. But I heard somebody telling me the other day that they paid, I think it was about $50 for a penny, and they were happy with that. And I told them that I thought that was going to end up being a bit expensive in the long run. And now penny is worth a third of that. And if you're happy paying early, cool. I'm not judging here. I'm advising. But I told you I wasn't paying $50 or more for penny. I told you I was going to be picking this up significantly cheaper. And now it's a $13 card, and it hasn't even finished dropping yet. And honestly, I might get myself a binder page of pennies at this rate. And that's a ridiculous, ridiculous thing to think about. When it's a $140 card in Japanese, the idea that it's going to be so cheap in English, it just makes me so happy. And I do think it's worth repeating this warning just before we finish here. Stop using Japanese cards to look at the value of English cards. Now, I'll show you Japanese cards to show you the relative value, i.e. the special illustration rare of Miriam is the most expensive card in Japan, so that's going to be the most expensive card over here. If you're doing a comparative value, looking at Japanese sets is great. Trying to do the actual value is ridiculous. Penny, I showed you, is a $140 card over in Japan. It is worth less than 10% of that right now, and it's only going to drop. Penny is going to be less than a $10 card. Penny is literally going to drop to lower than $10. And then I'm going to start hoovering them up, because why not? I'm going to put some tweets out, try and trade all of my cards for penny because I want them so much. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know. It always happens that we see this crash in value after the release of the set. It doesn't usually happen like this, though, you know, quite so fast and quite so strong. But I am loving that it has. And can you do me a favor, right? When Paldea Evolved comes out, can we not try selling these cards? Like, can we not try selling Dendra for like $200-300 when Paldea Evolved comes out? Can we just skip that bit? Because we know that that's what people are going to be doing, right? We know that people are going to be putting Dendra up as a $200, $300 card, and we know some people are going to pay it, and we know it is going to drop to a $40, $50 card before too long. So, is there any way we could just skip it? Yeah? Can we do that? That'd be awesome, ladies and gentlemen. That would be awesome. Right, That's from me. Now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me which cards you pulled. Tell me which cards you want to pull. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, chat with us about anything, does not have to be Pokemon, and get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Eric Ridgway, who's been a supporter of ours for a while and seems to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support, and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.